I know a lot of brothers are against P for P, and I get that. You're entitled to your own opinions. But what people fail to understand is that no matter where you're going in the world, if you're going to be dating a foreign woman from a different country, no matter what, you're going to be paying for it. Yeah. It's us. Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Jaime Woods back at it with another video. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, the like button, the notification bell so you guys know when your boy's dropping that heat. But speaking of that heat, your boy got some heat today, but let's get it started. So ladies and gentlemen, there's a couple mistakes that brothers make while they're dating overseas. One of those mistakes is that they give the girl money way too quickly. Like, you just met the girl a day ago and you're already giving her hella bread. You're giving her $1,000+ to get her makeup done, her nails done, and you barely even know this girl. You don't even know her name like that. You don't even know how to properly pronounce her name. You don't even know what her favorite color is, and you're out here giving this girl all this bread. And then number two is they don't give her anything at all because they're being cheap and stingy and whatever the case is. Here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of these women come from rough backgrounds, rough neighborhoods. They're struggling. They're always stressed out because they need to make ends meet every single month. A lot of these women and these people overseas only get paid a couple $100s a month. We're talking $300 to $400 a month. Meanwhile, us as Americans, we're getting paid at least a minimum of $1,000 a month. You know what I mean? At least a minimum, right? For them, that's a couple months worth of pay right there. So imagine, for example, a place like Rio de Janeiro that is one of the most expensive cities in all of South America. You know, you go to Copacabana, you go to Leblon, Ipanema. Most of these apartments are going for $2,000 a month, right? $2,000 a month, and some of them are not even the best places. Some of them are not even renovated like that. You're paying $2,000, and that's how expensive these neighborhoods are. So imagine these high prices of rent, high prices of cost of living for them. That is right. For a local, it's a very high cost of living for them, and you're only getting paid a couple $100s a month. And they're struggling. And then they happen to meet a handsome young man like yourself, and you out here not giving her a dime like that. You've been talking to this girl for months on end, back and forth, right? Between here and Brazil, or here Colombia, or here Thailand, here Philippines, back and forth. You're not giving this girl a cent. She's over here giving her body to you willingly, right? Consensually. Giving her body to you. And you're not even giving this girl not one dime. That is sort of a problem for her, because what benefit is she getting out of that? Now, I know a lot of brothers are going to say, oh, giving a girl money overseas is simpish behavior. But here's my point on that. And my point is that there's nothing simpish with giving a girl that you like, that you've been knowing for a while, money. There's no problem with that. A lot of brothers are against the P for P stuff, right? But what they don't understand is that regardless of what you do, you're paying for it regardless whether you believe it or not, right? Because there's direct P for P. So we're talking, you go to a country like a Brazil, a Colombia, you go on the website, you go on the streets, you meet a pro, and you give her money for services, right? There's direct P for P, but there's also indirect P for P. But let's just face it, not all you brothers, but some of you brothers, a good handful of you brothers, go overseas, you pay $1,000+ for these airplane tickets or whatever the case is to go meet women. So technically, that's still P for P, whether you want to admit it or not. A lot of you brothers take these women on these dinner dates, right? And they may not be much, but technically you're paying money for the dinner date in the hopes that you can have something intimate with this woman. That technically is P for P. Anything you do is P for P. You can't cut it, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of y'all want to say you're against P for P, but you don't realize that what you're doing is technically P for P. Any type of money that you're giving in order to get the result of sleeping with this woman or being intimate with this woman is technically P for P. You're going to be paying for it regardless. So enough is enough about this simp talk about, oh, you will simp if you give her money. There's nothing simpish about giving a woman money that you care about overseas, especially after knowing her for a while. So what this video is really about is, when should you give a girl some type of money? When should you be sending her some type of money? Because eventually you have to do it. These girls are not going to keep hanging out with you and giving you the box and giving you all this affection and attention if they're not getting anything in return. Because at the end of the day, these relationships, these bonds are all a trade-off. It's all a deal. And if they're getting the shit end of the stick, they're just going to find another gringo or another person that could give them a better deal. Because just imagine this. Imagine if this beautiful Brazilian woman or Colombian woman was hanging out with you, and you're over here taking her on dates. You're over here doing this with her, but she's not putting out. She's not giving you kisses. She's not holding your hand. She's not being affectionate with you. She's not being intimate with you. How are you going to feel about that? You're going to feel like you got the shit end of the stick, right? You're going to feel like you got the shit end of the deal. So what does that mean? You're going to end up cutting ties with this girl and finding another girl that can give you what you want. Same thing with women. These women don't want to keep living in poverty. They don't want to have to keep stressing out every single month. And just imagine them giving up their bodies to you just for you to use it and not give them anything in return for that. You know what I mean? Not even some type of money for her cell phone bill or to get her nails done at the very least, or rent money or something to make her stress go away. You know what I mean? So women view giving their bodies, especially in foreign countries, they view giving up their bodies to you, right? Being intimate with you as a very big deal. It's a very big deal. And if you're over here just using and abusing and not giving anything in return for that, she's going to feel some type of way. Another argument that a lot of brothers are going to say is, I don't got to give her no money or anything. I'm just going to give her experiences. Now, experiences are cool, but it's not going to make her stress go away. Because she's going to be hanging out with you, having a good time. And then once you leave and you get up on that plane and she goes back to her apartment, whatever the case is, it's back to the stress. Women want to date a man that is going to make their problems go away. Otherwise, what is the point of dealing with you? And I'm not sticking up for the women here at all, right? I'm just letting my brothers know that if you're trying to have a relationship with a woman overseas, that eventually you will have to pay her in some way. All right, whether that's for her nails, whether that's for her rent, you got to make her life easier. Okay, so back again, when is the right time to give a girl money? And if you do give her money, how should you go about that? So let's answer those questions real quick. So number one is, do not give a girl money off the rip. You don't want to give a girl money that you barely know about like that. You don't know who she's involved with, what her situation is, none of that, right? You don't want to give a girl money like that. Get to know this girl well. So in the beginning, offer experiences, right? So take her to a dinner date, take her here, take her there, have a good time with her, right? If by any chance she asks you for money, because you're going to have certain girls that are going to ask you, they're going to try to test you, hey, can I have a little something for this? You're going to let her know, hey, listen, baby girl. Like, very nicely, you don't got to yell at her or anything. You will let her know, hey, listen, baby girl, I just met you. I will take you on a dinner date. I'll take you here. I don't mind giving you a little something for whatever you need, but I need to get to know you better. And this is also a good test to see what type of woman she is, what type of character she is. Because if she gets mad at you for not giving her a little something for her rent or whatever the case is, and you just met her, that's not the girl for you. She's trying to scam you. All right. So those are not the type of woman you need. If she's perfectly fine with that, then you got yourself a good woman right there, right? So just let her know nicely, hey, I'll take you to restaurants. I'll take you here. You don't got to worry about nothing when you're around me, right? Financially, I'll take care of all that. But in terms of your own bills, you got to take care of that right now until I get to know you better. All right, so knowing her better would be a couple trips, a couple months. So we're talking at minimum, at least 3 months of knowing this girl, at least 3 months of knowing her. So that leads me to my next thing is, once you get to know this person well, you've at least had a couple trips, a couple months of knowing them, and you're like, all right, you know what? This person's a good person. Like, you've tested them, you vetted them. Once you get all that out the way, now when you do pay for something, you know what I mean? Make sure that it's not everything. You don't want this person to be completely dependent on you just yet. You still want them to be out there working. The problem is that you're still not living with this person. You don't know what this person is doing behind closed doors. You're going to be a nice person to her because she hung out with you. She spent time with you. You guys were intimate together. So the least you can do after a year or so, 6 months, whatever it is of knowing them, the least you can do is at least pay for something. So what I recommend for you guys to do is pay something that's not too expensive, but not like dirt cheap, like her makeup or whatever it is. Pay for like maybe her cell phone bill, something along those lines. So one little thing, right? One thing, not everything just yet, one thing. And if she keeps proving herself to you and proving that she is a great woman to you over time, then you can add more stuff to that. And then once you do live together as a couple. Then from there, you can pay everything for her if you want to, or pay her rent or whatever it is. But do not make the mistake of paying everything all at once or giving her a large sum of money immediately, because they're going to take advantage. Like, they appreciate it at first that you're willing to give that type of money for them, but they're not going to respect you down the line, because they're going to be like, all right, I just met this dude, he don't know much about me, but he's out here giving all this money out. Like, why is he doing that for? You know what I mean? And then they're going to start to take advantage of it, you know, because you give them an inch and they're going to take a mile. Now, I'm not saying women in general. I'm saying, like, generally speaking, humans are like that. If you give someone an inch, they're going to stretch that out and make it into a mile. You know what I mean? So you don't want these women taking advantage of you or anything like that. Like, I've heard horror stories of some foreigners who have given these beautiful women from other countries a bunch of money, like $1,000+ a month, and they end up finding out that that woman was cheating on them or whatever the case is, right? You don't want to end up like that. So test this woman out. Vet her, see what type of woman she is before you give her the money. All right. And also, ladies and gentlemen, don't be one of those cheap dudes that don't want to, like, take this girl out to a restaurant, whatever the case is. You know what I mean? Like, bro, it's for us Americans, going out to eat in a place like Brazil, Colombia is very cheap. You're telling me you can't at least do that, like offer experiences at the very least to this female, so that way you guys can get to know each other and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you're not going to these restaurants for her. You're going to these restaurants for you. I would assume if you're going to a place like Brazil, Colombia, it's to experience life to the fullest, because your dollar goes further, meaning that you're able to do things consistently that you wouldn't be able to do in the States, because the cost of living here in the States is expensive. So I would assume you'd want to go out and see how the food is in that country, right? So you want to go to a restaurant, and what better way to go to a restaurant than to invite a beautiful woman to come with you? So that way you're able to try out the food with her, right? So again, you're not doing this for the woman, you're doing it for yourself. You're bringing her into your world, and you're offering her experiences in the very beginning when you guys first meet. After a while, you getting to know each other. Then from there, you can be like, all right, she's a good woman. She's been loyal. She's been faithful to me. She's cool. You know what? I'll pay her cell phone bill. I'll pay a little something. That's $10 to $30 a month. All right. If that's too much for you, that's a problem, right? A lot of men want to complain and say, oh, Jamie, that's simpish behavior. You're a simp, this, that. I already know what the comment section is going to be like. But this is the thing. If that's your mentality, just don't date overseas. Because eventually you will have to pay something for the woman. This whole illusion of you dating a woman overseas and not paying for anything for her after years, after a year, 2 years of talking to her, is ridiculous. Eventually, you will have to pay for some. Otherwise, what is she doing with you? Right? The same thing goes in America. You're dating a chick here in America. Eventually, after you guys moving in together, she's going to expect you to at least go half on the bills, pay for her dinner dates or whatever the case is. Regardless of where you go in this world, you're going to be paying for it, which is why I'm saying always going to be paying for the box no matter what you think. All right, so whether it's directly or indirectly, you're going to be paying for the box. And that's a truth that a lot of brothers don't want to admit or don't want to accept. And it doesn't make you a simp. It's just the reality of the world, right? The men make the money, the men protect and provide, and the women are there to be nurturers, to provide you with experiences, to provide you with a lot of emotional cushion or whatever you want to call it. You know, both of the pairings, both men and females, put something on the table, and it's different things. With men, we have to provide, right? So that's the thing. No matter if it's here in America or overseas, you'll have to provide. You'll have to pay sooner or later. But of course, you got to protect yourself. And that's why I told y'all the timeline, right? So make sure minimum of at least 3 months. And I still think 3 months is too little. Push it out to at least half of a year, maybe a little past that. See what type of girl she is. Vet her. See what type of girl she is. And if you think she's the one, then from there, you can start paying a little something and working your way up from there. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope that answers the questions. I hope you guys gain some type of knowledge or whatever the case is, some type of clarity on this, because a lot of brothers are doing it wrong overseas. They either think that they have to give too much too soon or nothing at all. My thing is in the middle, okay? But ladies and gentlemen, that is the video for today. If you like travel videos, make sure to check out these videos over here. Peace out.